When you think of a panda, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it that adorable, cuddly creature munching peacefully on bamboo? Or maybe it's the countless memes and plush toys that have made it a global icon. We see this black and white furball with its big, soulful eyes, and we just melt. But here's the thing. The panda is so much more than just a cute animal. It's a survivor, a species that has clung to existence for millions of years in one of the most demanding environments on Earth. It has cheated extinction with some truly surprising adaptations and now stands at a crossroads, balancing between the wild and the human world. Believe it or not, a panda isn't some gentle forest mascot. It's a powerful bear, a descendant of predators, that now survives almost exclusively on a plant that's incredibly hard to digest. Without this one specific plant, it wouldn't last more than a few days. Its whole life is a series of paradoxes. It looks gentle but has the strength of a bear. It seems clumsy, yet it can scale steep mountain slopes with ease. It looks like it was born to be adored in a zoo, but in reality it thrives only in dense, inaccessible bamboo forests. The panda is also a symbol of something much bigger. It shows us just how fragile an ecosystem can be and how easily the balance of nature can be tipped. Its survival is tied to the climate, the trees, and even rare types of bamboo that grow only at specific altitudes. So, while everyone knows what a panda looks like, very few understand how strange and dramatic its world really is. What mysteries do its forests hide? And what incredible effort does it take from scientists to ensure this species has a future? Today, we're going to peel back the layers of cuteness and dive into the extraordinary, paradoxical world of the giant panda. At first glance, the giant panda seems almost like an outsider in the bear family. Its unique black and white coat, round face, and calm demeanor make it feel like it belongs to its own special evolutionary branch, a sort of bear-like exception among mammals. But make no mistake, the panda is a true bear. It's a close relative of brown bears, polar bears, and black bears, belonging to the family Ursidae and sharing key anatomical and genetic traits with them. The fossil record tells us that pandas first appeared about 2 to 3 million years ago, and they didn't always look or act like they do today. The ancestors of modern pandas had a much more carnivorous diet. Their lifestyle was a lot like that of other predators. But over time, evolution took them down a completely different path, pushing them towards a plant-based diet. This change was so radical that today, bamboo makes up a staggering 99% of their food. This evolutionary pivot makes the panda unique even within its own family. No other bear on the planet has specialized in such a narrow ecological niche. Anatomically, however, pandas are still very much bears. They have powerful jaws, muscular bodies, and sharp claws. Their skeletal structure is that of a large carnivore. One of their most famous features, the false thumb, is a perfect example of their unique evolution. It's not a true thumb, but a modified wrist bone. It wasn't an organ that evolved specifically for grasping bamboo, but rather an accidental adaptation that turned out to be incredibly useful for their new lifestyle. And what about that iconic fur? The panda's black and white pattern is one of the most recognizable in the animal kingdom. The black legs, ears, and eye patches contrast sharply with its white body. This isn't just for show. The coloring acts as camouflage among the shadows, snow, and tree trunks of its mountain home. It might also serve as a communication signal, helping pandas spot each other in the dim light of dense forests. Over millions of years, the panda has become a living symbol of a predator's past and a herbivore's present. Its biology is an evolutionary experiment that succeeded thanks to a very specific environment. But that same specialization has also made it extremely vulnerable to climate change and habitat loss. To truly understand the panda, we have to see it not just as a cuddly toy, but as a member of an ancient line of carnivores that survived through incredible adaptation and is now fighting for its place in a rapidly changing world. So, where does this remarkable bear live today? The giant panda makes its home in the cool, humid mountain forests of southwestern China. These areas are the last remnants of ancient bamboo forests, hidden away on steep slopes and in deep valleys. Here, fog and clouds trap moisture, creating the perfect conditions for bamboo to grow in vast, continuous stretches. This environment is ideal for the panda. It's steep, hard for humans to reach, and relatively untouched. You'll find them mostly at altitudes between 1 and 3,000 meters, where the climate is temperate and the vegetation is thick. But here's a fascinating twist. Pandas once roamed over much larger territories. Their historical range wasn't just limited to a few Chinese provinces. It stretched across the extensive lowland forests of southern, central, and eastern China, and even into parts of modern-day Vietnam and Myanmar. Just imagine it. Pandas not confined to isolated mountain refuges, but wandering freely through vast subtropical lowlands. These were places where bamboo formed true green oceans, and these large bears could move easily between valleys, hills, and broadleaf forests. So why are they so restricted today? The answer, unfortunately, is simple: humans. As agriculture expanded and the human population grew, these ancient forests were cut down. Valleys were drained, and the land was converted into farms. Literally half of the lowland environments where pandas had lived for thousands of years simply vanished. The species was pushed out of its ancestral home and forced into higher, more inaccessible terrain. The places where humans didn't go or arrived much later were the places where bamboo survived, and with it, the panda. Today, the panda's habitat is fragmented. It's a mosaic of isolated islands of forest, separated by valleys, roads, and human settlements. These disconnected patches make it difficult for pandas to migrate, which reduces gene flow and increases the risk of local extinctions from things like fires, diseases, or natural disasters. And yet, it's in these last enclaves that an extraordinary world endures. A world of cool mists, towering bamboo, and a rich diversity of plants and animals that form the original landscape of Asia. The panda, so often reduced to its cute appearance, is actually the symbol of a powerful ecosystem that once covered a huge part of the continent. Its story is a tale of human expansion, habitat loss, and the desperate fight to preserve what's left. Now, let's talk about the panda's diet, which is one of the greatest paradoxes in the animal kingdom. The panda belongs to the order Carnivora, meaning it's biologically a carnivore. Yet its diet consists almost entirely of bamboo. This is a huge zoological irony. Here you have an animal with a digestive system built for meat, a short intestine, and enzymes designed to break down protein that now relies on a single type of plant that is notoriously low in nutrients. What this means in practice is that a panda has to eat an enormous amount of bamboo just to get enough energy to survive. An adult panda can consume anywhere from a few to over 30 kilograms of bamboo every single day. Chewing alone takes up most of its waking hours. Bamboo is their lifeline, but it's also a major problem. It grows quickly and in large patches, which is good, but its nutritional value is extremely low. Plus, pandas lack the specialized gut microbes that animals like cows have to efficiently break down tough plant fibers. Because of this, pandas have adopted a very calm, energy-saving lifestyle. They move slowly, they chew a lot, and they rest even more, all to minimize their calorie use. This deep connection to bamboo isn't just about food. It has shaped their entire existence, their behavior, their habitat, and their biology. But the biggest danger tied to bamboo is its flowering cycle. Contrary to what you might think, bamboo doesn't bloom every year. Many species bloom very rarely, sometimes only once every few decades or even once a century. When they do, the entire bamboo population flowers, produces seeds, and then dies off all at once. For pandas, this is a catastrophe. It means a sudden, widespread loss of their only food source. In the past, these mass flowerings would cause pandas to migrate over long distances in search of food, often leading to starvation and population declines. Today, with their habitats so fragmented, escaping to find a new food source is much, much harder. A panda might occasionally snack on other plants, fruits, or even small animals in carrion if it gets the chance. But these are just rare exceptions to the rule. Its entire biology has been sculpted by bamboo. The shape of its teeth, its powerful jaw muscles, and that famous false thumb are all adaptations for a life spent eating this one plant. A panda isn't just a bamboo lover, it's a master specialist in a plant that is, paradoxically, one of the least efficient food sources on the planet. And there you have it. The panda is a story of survival against the odds, a creature of paradoxes, and a powerful symbol of nature's fragility. It's so much more than just a cute face. It's a testament to the strange and wonderful paths that evolution can take. You might think of a giant panda as a cute, fluffy ball of black and white fur, but behind that adorable exterior is a masterpiece of evolution. A highly specialized machine built for survival. Let's start with the skull. It's massive, wide, and features huge ridges where incredibly strong jaw muscles attach. These muscles generate a biting force so powerful it rivals that of many predators. Why? Because a panda has to crush tough bamboo stalks like a vice. Its jaws are working almost constantly, making these muscles some of the most developed among all bears. And then there are the teeth. Unlike the sharp, slicing teeth of a typical carnivore, a panda's molars are broad, massive, with wide, flat surfaces. They are essentially biological tools designed for grinding wood. The enamel is exceptionally thick to resist wear and tear, with each tooth acting like a gear in a powerful crushing mill. But one of the most fascinating features is on its front paw, the pseudo-thumb. This isn't a true thumb, but a modified wrist bone that acts like an extra finger, giving the panda a much better grip on bamboo stalks. What's amazing is that this same evolutionary trick appeared independently in the red panda, a completely unrelated species. It's a perfect example of convergent evolution. Different animals, facing similar problems, arriving at the same brilliant solution. The panda's body is heavy and powerful. Its front legs are well muscled, not just for handling bamboo, but also for climbing. Young pandas, in particular, are surprisingly skilled climbers, using their sharp, curved claws to grip tree trunks, dig, or scratch. And what about that iconic fur? It's not just for show. It's incredibly dense, with a thick underfur layer and long guard hairs on top. This combination provides perfect insulation, protecting the panda from the cold, damp conditions of its mountain forest home, where it's often rainy and cool year-round. The black and white pattern isn't just cute either. It's most likely a form of camouflage, helping the panda blend into a landscape of shadows, dark tree trunks, and patches of snow or mist. Some scientists also believe the distinct markings help pandas recognize each other from a distance, which is useful for animals that live so far apart. Here's where it gets really interesting. Despite eating almost nothing but plants, the panda has the short, simple intestine of a carnivore. This means it's incredibly inefficient at digesting bamboo. To survive, it has no choice but to eat massive quantities of food, up to 40 pounds a day, and adopt a very slow, low-energy lifestyle. The panda's anatomy is a living story of evolutionary conflict. It compromised between its meat-eating ancestry and its plant-based present. Giant pandas are the ultimate introverts of the animal kingdom. They spend nearly their entire lives alone. Adults rarely interact outside of the brief mating season. Most of their day is a quiet routine, slowly wandering through their territory, searching for bamboo, and resting in the shade. This solitary lifestyle is a survival strategy. Bamboo is such a low-energy food source that sharing it would be inefficient and costly. By keeping to themselves, pandas conserve precious energy, avoid conflicts, and reduce the spread of disease. Each panda has its own home range and knows it well, moving in predictable patterns that minimize encounters with others. Even young pandas, once they leave their mothers, find their own territory and keep their distance. But being solitary doesn't mean they're completely isolated. So how do they stay in touch? They use a hidden language. The boundaries of their territories are respected not through fights, but through scent marking. Pandas use secretions from glands near their tails, as well as urine, rubbing them on trees, rocks, and the ground. This scent acts like a personal calling card, leaving a long-lasting message for any other panda that passes by. It tells them who is there, their gender, and if they're ready to mate. Males are especially diligent, regularly refreshing their scent marks. It is a subtle but effective way for these solitary creatures to communicate and coexist peacefully across vast mountain forests. This secret communication is fascinating. It's not about face-to-face interaction. Instead, pandas have perfected a mix of methods to send messages over long distances, even in the dense, misty forests where visibility is poor. Sound is one important tool. They make a variety of noises, from grunts and growls to surprisingly sheep-like bleats. A deep grunt might be a warning to an intruder, while other calls are used to attract a mate during the breeding season. The tone and intensity can signal an individual's size, strength, and mood. High-pitched calls are often used between a mother and her cub, helping them find each other in the thick vegetation. But their most important communication channel is scent. Those scent marks we talked about create a kind of olfactory map of the entire area. By sniffing a marked tree, a panda can learn if a rival male, a potential mate, or a competitor is nearby. The scent can last for hours or even days, and its chemical makeup can reveal an animal's health and social status. When pandas do meet, they use subtle body language. The position of their ears, their gaze, or the way they hold their body can signal a warning. an invitation to play, or a claim of dominance. Even though these encounters are rare and brief, they are filled with signals that must be read correctly to avoid conflict. Together, these methods create a surprisingly complex social life that's mostly invisible to us. Sounds travel through the dense forest, scent leaves a lasting record, and body language manages immediate interactions. The panda may seem quiet and slow, but it's constantly engaged in a silent, sophisticated conversation. This brings us to the core of the panda's existence: calmness, sleep, and saving energy. This entire lifestyle is a direct result of its bamboo diet. Since bamboo offers so little nutrition, every single calorie has to be conserved. That's why pandas don't run, hunt, or engage in any unnecessary activity. Their life is a masterclass in energy efficiency. They spend a huge portion of their day resting and sleeping, often for many hours at a time, waking only for brief feeding sessions. You might see one sprawled on its side, hugging a tree trunk, or draped over a branch in a perfectly relaxed, energy-saving pose. This isn't laziness. It's a critical survival strategy. Even their movements are designed to conserve energy. They are slow, deliberate, and incredibly precise. Every step, every reach for a bamboo shoot is carefully calculated to avoid wasting effort. They move with a calm, unhurried rhythm that follows the cycles of nature and their own biology. When times are tough, like in winter or when bamboo is scarce, a panda might become almost completely still for days, relying on its fat reserves. This allows it to outlast periods of hardship. So the panda's calmness and slow pace are not just personality traits. They are the foundation of its survival. From its sleeping habits to its eating techniques, every aspect of its life is optimized for maximum efficiency. The giant panda shows us that sometimes the most successful strategy is to slow down, conserve your energy, and patiently adapt to the world around you. It's not a simple plush toy. It's a survivor, a specialist, and a true wonder of the natural world. Have you ever wondered why pandas are so rare? The answer isn't just about bamboo or habitat loss. It's hidden in one of the most fascinating and challenging reproductive stories in the entire animal kingdom. Get ready, because today we're diving deep into the secret life of pandas, and it's a story of incredible precision, fleeting chances, and remarkable survival against all odds. Imagine this: for an entire year, a female panda lives a quiet, solitary life. Her world revolves around one thing: finding and eating bamboo. She wanders through her mountainous territory alone. But then, for just a few days, sometimes as little as 24 to 72 hours, everything changes. This tiny window is the only time all year she can become pregnant. The entire future of the species hinges on these precious few moments. This is the panda's breeding season. It's an incredibly short and intense period. Because pandas are such solitary animals, males have to drop everything and travel, sometimes for miles, just for the chance to find a mate. How do they find her? They follow a trail of invisible clues. The female leaves scent markings from her glands and urine, broadcasting a chemical message that says, "I'm ready." It's a natural perfume that carries the hope of a new generation. When a male finally finds her, there's no long, romantic courtship. The encounter is brief and intense. It's a quick assessment of strength and condition. If everything aligns perfectly, if the timing is right and the female accepts him, they mate. And just like that, it's over. The male goes back to his solitary life, and the female is left alone to prepare for a potential pregnancy and the immense task of raising a cub. This incredibly short reproductive window is a double-edged sword. It forces the panda to be incredibly precise. Evolution has equipped them with subtle chemical and behavioral signals to perfectly sync their readiness. Even a tiny mistake in timing, a missed signal, means no baby panda that year. It's a high-stakes game where every single opportunity counts. This is also why breeding pandas in captivity is notoriously difficult. You can put a male and a female in the same enclosure, but if their hormones aren't perfectly synchronized, or if the subtle social cues are off, nothing will happen. You can't force nature, especially when it's this finely tuned. This short breeding season is both a limitation and a brilliant survival strategy. It demands precision and efficiency, but it also means that panda populations grow very, very slowly. This slow growth rate makes them incredibly vulnerable to any changes in their environment, especially the loss of their forest homes. In this context, every single panda becomes priceless for the survival of the species. So, reproduction in the giant panda is one of the most demanding processes among mammals. Success depends on an extremely precise cocktail of biology, behavior, and a little bit of luck from the environment. That short fertility window puts the female in a uniquely challenging position. Every year she fails to find a mate at just the right moment is a completely lost opportunity. It's not just the timing, it's their lifestyle. Pandas are loners. They spend almost their entire lives apart in their own territories. So, finding a partner requires males to undertake long journeys, guided only by their highly tuned sense of smell and hearing. As I mentioned, each meeting is brief. The female has to make a snap judgment about the male based on his scent and his behavior. There's no time for second chances. It demands peak readiness and precision from both sides. And if all that wasn't complicated enough, their biology adds another layer of difficulty. When a panda cub is finally born, it's unbelievably tiny, fragile, and completely helpless. A newborn panda is about the size of a stick of butter, almost hairless, and utterly dependent on its mother. This means reproductive success isn't just about successful mating. It's about perfect maternal care in those critical first weeks of life. The mother's job is monumental. She has to keep the cub warm, fed, and safe from predators. Any small disturbance can be fatal. If the mother gets sick, if there's not enough fresh bamboo nearby, or if the weather turns harsh, the cub might not survive. All these factors combined make the giant panda one of the most challenging mammals to reproduce. Its biology, its solitary nature, and its environment create a perfect storm of constraints that make every successful birth a true miracle. This is why panda conservation and captive breeding programs have become so essential. Without a helping hand from humans, their natural reproductive cycle would face almost insurmountable odds in our modern world. Life in the wild is tough for a panda, and sadly, mortality rates are exceptionally high, especially for the young. This is a direct result of their solitary lifestyle, their specialized diet, and the harsh mountain environments they call home. As we've learned, cubs are born incredibly fragile. For the first few weeks, their entire world is their mother. Her body provides warmth, her milk provides nourishment, and her constant vigilance is their only protection. Imagine a mother panda trying to keep her tiny, delicate cub safe in a wild, mountainous forest. She has to contend with steep slopes, heavy rain, dense fog, and unpredictable weather. A simple slip or a sudden drop in temperature could be fatal for the cub. Even a temporary shortage of bamboo can be a disaster, as the mother needs a huge amount of energy to produce milk. Furthermore, wild panda populations are often fragmented, split into small, isolated patches of forest. This isolation increases stress and makes it harder for them to move to safer areas or find better food sources. And it's not just the cubs who are at risk. While an adult panda is a large, strong animal, it's not invincible. Predators like clouded leopards or wolves can still pose a threat, especially to younger, sick, or weaker individuals. And the constant search for food is exhausting. During years when bamboo is scarce, some adult pandas simply don't have the reserves to survive. This high mortality rate, combined with their incredibly slow and difficult reproductive cycle, paints a clear picture of just how vulnerable this species is. Every single panda truly matters. The loss of just one individual, whether it's as a tiny cub or a fully grown adult, can have a real, measurable impact on the local population's chances of survival. This fragility is a stark reminder of why protecting their habitat and supporting conservation efforts are not just helpful, but absolutely critical. The story of the panda is a story of resilience, but it's also one that hangs in a delicate balance. So the next time you see a picture of a cute, clumsy panda, remember the incredible evolutionary journey it represents. A story of perfect timing, lonely quests, and a mother's devotion against all odds. It's a species fighting a silent, uphill battle for survival, and a powerful symbol of why our planet's biodiversity is so precious and worth protecting. Have you ever wondered why we see so many pandas in zoos and breeding centers? It's not just to give us a chance to see these adorable animals. It's actually a critical mission for their very survival. In the wild, giant pandas face a huge challenge: making more pandas. Their fertile period is incredibly short. They live solitary lives, and sadly, the mortality rate for cubs is very high. This means their population grows at a snail's pace. That's where breeding programs come in as a lifeline. In these protected environments, every detail is controlled. From the perfect diet and temperature to making sure males and females are ready for each other at just the right moment. Scientists can monitor a female's hormones, see when she's ready to mate, and even step in with artificial insemination if needed. This dramatically increases the chances of a successful pregnancy and helps keep the panda gene pool diverse, which is vital for a species living in isolated pockets of forest. But these programs do more than just breed pandas. They are invaluable hubs for research and education. Scientists learn about panda biology, their unique dietary needs, and their social behaviors. This knowledge is then used to create better conservation strategies for pandas in the wild. Think of these centers as a backup drive for the species, creating a healthy population that can one day be reintroduced into protected bamboo forests to strengthen the wild populations. Thanks to these dedicated efforts, the giant panda, once on the very brink of extinction, now has a real shot at a future. One of the biggest hurdles for pandas in the wild is the loss of their home. The mountain bamboo forests where they live are being chopped up by human activity. Logging, farming, and the construction of roads and towns are carving their habitat into small, isolated islands. Imagine being stuck on a tiny island with limited food and no way to meet anyone new. That's the reality for many pandas. This fragmentation is a huge problem. Pandas can't migrate to find fresh bamboo or meet other pandas during the breeding season. This leads to genetic isolation and inbreeding, which weakens the population and makes them more vulnerable to diseases. Plus, less habitat means less food. Bamboo needs specific cool, moist conditions to thrive. When forests are cut down, the microclimate changes, the soil dries out, and the bamboo struggles to grow. This forces pandas to travel further for a meal, burning precious energy and increasing their stress levels. Young pandas are especially at risk of starvation or freezing. This habitat loss also messes with their social lives. Pandas are solitary animals, but when their territories shrink, they run into each other more often, which can cause stress and aggression. A female ready to mate might not be able to find a male, and young pandas have no space to establish their own territories. When you combine this with their already high cub mortality rate, you can see why habitat fragmentation is a critical threat. The panda is a highly specialized animal. It can't just adapt to a new environment overnight. That's why protecting and reconnecting these bamboo forests is not just important, it's essential for their long-term survival. So what exactly is happening to their forests? Deforestation and the expansion of human activity are putting pandas in direct danger. Their natural home, the bamboo forests of the mountains, is being cleared for farms, commercial tree plantations, and infrastructure like roads and railways. Every patch of forest that disappears is a loss of territory, food, and shelter for pandas. It also disrupts the delicate microclimate that bamboo needs to flourish. Logging alters the temperature and humidity of the forest, which messes with the bamboo's growth cycle and reduces the panda's food supply. New roads and buildings further slice up the habitat, creating those isolated panda islands we talked about. This makes it impossible for them to move between areas to find food or mates. Without this movement, there's no gene flow between populations. This increases the risk of inbreeding, which can weaken the species and make them more susceptible to disease. Even adult pandas, who are used to traveling long distances for food, are forced into dangerous situations. They might wander into human-populated areas, increasing the risk of accidents and raising their stress levels. And the impact isn't just physical. The noise, pollution, and even the presence of tourists and domestic animals near their habitat disrupt their natural behaviors. A stressed panda is not a healthy panda. This whole situation creates a devastating chain reaction. Less space, less food, genetic isolation, more stress, and higher mortality. Protecting pandas isn't just about the animals themselves. It's about responsible land use planning, creating safe wildlife corridors, and limiting our footprint in their critical habitats. Now, let's talk about what makes giant pandas so incredibly fascinating. Their whole life revolves around one thing: bamboo. An adult panda can eat between 10 and 20 kilograms of bamboo every single day. On a really good day, some can even munch through 30 kilograms. That's a full-time job of chewing. Despite their bulky size, pandas are surprisingly agile. They are excellent climbers, both as cubs and as adults. They'll climb trees to escape danger, find a tasty meal, or just find a safe and cozy spot to take a nap. Their famous black and white coat isn't just for show. It's a form of camouflage that helps them blend into the shadows of the bamboo forest, making them harder for predators to spot. And while they look like quiet, solitary creatures, pandas are actually quite talkative. They communicate using a whole range of sounds, from whistles and grunts to bleats and squeaks. Each sound has a different meaning, whether it's calling to their young, signaling their presence to another panda, or warning off an intruder. Even their droppings are important. They use them to mark their territory, but the droppings also help spread bamboo seeds, which contributes to the renewal of the forest. And have you ever seen a panda stand up on its hind legs? It's an impressive sight. They do it to get a better look around or to reach higher bamboo branches, showing off the surprising strength in their back legs. All these unique traits make the giant panda not just a symbol of conservation, but one of the most remarkable examples of evolutionary specialization on our planet. The story of the giant panda is a powerful reminder of how fragile our ecosystems are, but it's also a story of hope. It shows that with dedication, scientific research, and global cooperation, we can pull a species back from the brink. The challenges are still immense. Habitat loss and climate change continue to be major threats. But every breeding program, every protected forest, and every person who cares gives the giant panda a better chance at not just surviving, but thriving for generations to come. Have you ever wondered what the future holds for the giant panda? For decades, this beloved animal was teetering on the brink of extinction. But today, its story is one of hope, resilience, and the power of human intervention. It's a journey filled with incredible successes, but also ongoing challenges that we need to talk about. Let's rewind a bit. Not too long ago, the panda situation was dire. Habitat loss and low birth rates pushed their numbers to dangerously low levels. But then, something amazing happened. An intense, coordinated effort began, led by China, involving massive conservation programs, long-term breeding initiatives, and the creation of sprawling nature reserves. The world watched, hoping for a miracle, and the miracle we got. In 2016, a landmark announcement was made. The giant panda's conservation status was officially upgraded from endangered to vulnerable. Now, this wasn't just a change in terminology. It was a powerful symbol that our efforts were working. It proved that with dedicated habitat protection, careful population management, and scientific breeding programs, we could pull a species back from the edge. The panda's slow but steady recovery became a beacon of hope for conservationists everywhere. At the heart of this success story are the Chinese reserves. These aren't just patches of protected land. They are meticulously managed ecosystems designed to give pandas everything they need to thrive. Imagine vast protected bamboo forests, a panda's buffet stretching for miles. These reserves also create safe corridors, allowing pandas to move between different habitat fragments. This is crucial for genetic diversity, preventing isolated populations from becoming inbred. Within these safe havens, pandas can find mates and reproduce naturally, boosting the wild population. But the reserves serve another vital purpose. They are living laboratories. Researchers can observe pandas in their natural environment, gathering priceless data about their behavior, diet, and social structures. This information helps refine conservation strategies, ensuring that every action we take is as effective as possible. It's a continuous cycle of learning and improving, all for the sake of the panda. However, we can't declare mission accomplished just yet. The future still holds significant threats. The most daunting of these is climate change. Pandas have an incredibly specialized diet. 99% of it is bamboo. Climate change threatens to disrupt bamboo growth patterns and alter the delicate microclimate of the mountain forests they call home. If their primary food source disappears, the pandas will face a crisis. Then there's habitat fragmentation. Even with the reserves, human development continues to encroach on panda territory. Roads, farms, and settlements can cut off populations from one another, shrinking their gene pool and limiting their access to food. The expansion of human activity remains a constant and very real danger for pandas living in the wild. Every new generation of pandas faces not just the biological challenges of survival, but also these mounting environmental pressures. It's clear that continued human support is essential. So the survival of the giant panda is far from guaranteed. It's a complex puzzle that requires constant vigilance. But the successes we've seen so far show us that it is possible. This iconic species still needs our help, our protection, and our global awareness. The good news is, its fate is looking brighter every day. The panda has evolved from just a cute animal into a powerful symbol, a symbol of humanity. S capacity to rescue a species through science, dedication, and sheer determination. The giant panda's influence extends far beyond the bamboo forests. It holds a special place in our culture and consciousness, not just in China, where it's revered as a national treasure, but all around the globe. In Chinese culture, the panda symbolizes peace, harmony, and good fortune. For centuries, its gentle nature and striking black and white coat have inspired artists, poets, and storytellers. It embodies a unique blend of strength and tranquility that captivates the human imagination. Internationally, the panda has become the face of wildlife conservation. When you see that iconic logo for the Worldwide Fund for Nature, you're looking at a panda. This single image has become one of the most recognizable symbols in the fight to protect endangered species in our planet's biodiversity. Through this role, the panda represents not just its own species, but the entire global movement for environmental stewardship. The panda has even played a role in international relations through what's known as panda diplomacy. For decades, China has used these magnificent animals as diplomatic gifts or long-term loans to zoos around the world. This gesture of goodwill has helped build bridges between nations, strengthen diplomatic ties, and promote Chinese culture on a global stage. The panda became more than just an animal. It became an ambassador of friendship and cooperation. From cultural icon to conservation symbol to diplomatic envoy, the giant panda is so much more than just a charming creature. It represents resilience, the power of conservation, and the delicate harmony we must strive for between humanity and nature. Its story is a poignant reminder of how fragile life on our planet can be. But it's also a powerful testament to what we can achieve when we work together. The panda's journey teaches us invaluable lessons about patience, respect, and our shared responsibility for the world we inhabit. It shows us that with conscious effort and unwavering determination, even the most vulnerable species can be given a future. The story of the giant panda is still being written, and it's up to all of us to ensure it has a happy ending. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.